Hi guys, hope you're okay. This is Daniel. So I made a video just before Christmas where I was essentially talking about a work situation, but for whatever reason I didn't upload it. Well, the whatever reason being that having looked back at it, I just completely realised I was completely treating myself as a victim. And the reason why I say that is because albeit that I went through a bit of a tough time in this particular scenario that I was discussing, I didn't really want to portray myself in a way that was being very, I don't know, caught up in the past of what happened. Because one thing I realised, I had this mild epiphany that whenever, I don't know, I may upload a video to try and garner some type of sympathy, which is essentially what it would have been, it's really taken away the agency and accountability that I would have had to really step in, excuse me, and take full ownership of my part in the situation. Because regardless of whatever you go through in life, I am a firm believer that nothing happens by accident. I think everything does happen for a reason. And that is quite a controversial mentality to have, but at the same time, I think the experiences that I had with these particular individuals who I used to work with, although it was quite a difficult one, I learned some of the most interesting lessons I could have ever learned in my life. It made me a lot more resilient when it came to dealing with particular situations. It made me a lot more sharp when it came to standing up for myself. And if I hadn't gone through that particular painful experience, I would never have had those skills. And they really do, do me well up until this day. So I think it was just really wanting to reflect on that, because when we think about accountability and we think about our particular part in the situation, it's very easy to become very one-sided about how events actually occurred. But then after time and hindsight becomes a thing, and you're able to really think about just what your contributions were towards something, you realise that, people's intentions aren't really bad. I think people are always going to treat you just from their particular frame of reference in terms of how they see the world. And if those things don't quite mesh, then you are going to get conflicts from time to time. But the nature of a person's character isn't necessarily derived from the way you react to a situation, but more so the way you respond. Because equally, you are going to find people in life who are going to challenge you. You're going to find yourself in challenging situations. And I, by no means, am not perfect. I've got a really, really calm temperament, but, there are times where I can lose my temper. And it's not to say it's something that I want to do, but there are going to be people who are going to push your buttons the wrong way. It just isn't going to be perfect all the time. And I think when you are a natural perfectionist, you can easily punish yourself for not being the right type of person or doing things the right type of way. But that's a bit of a slight tangent of thought. But what I'm trying to say is, going back to accountability, is that we have to really take full ownership of the decisions that we make, because they are essentially the building blocks that will become the stories of our life at one point. So yeah, that was the reason why I didn't post that horrible video. But I think talking about it gives me the opportunity to say, oh look, I've got some introspection here. This is how much I've grown and learned about myself, which is, I guess, in a way, a bit of a pat on the back for myself and maybe blowing my own ego. But equally, I think it's just trying to kind of just show that, there are lots of depths to humanity in the way that we think and the way that we take information in and the way that we actually process, the life that we're constantly making up as we go along. So yeah, this is just my small portion of it. But for those of you who are following along, I really do appreciate your attention, and I'm really grateful for, you being part of this whole journey with me, sharing my weird, random insights. But yeah, if you've got anything to share on this particular topic, where you've overcome a particularly difficult situation, I'd love to hear from you. Until next video, hope you're all well, take care, speak soon, goodbye.